Remember to like and subscribe. Welcome back to Sound of a Swish. Today, we're going deep.
Deep?
Yeah, a deep dive into the world of basketball player development.
Yeah.
We're looking at this book called Basketball Player Development. It's by Dragan Raca and his team.
That's right.
And this book isn't your typical coaching manual.
No.
We're going beyond X's and O's to explore kind of a more holistic approach to building a foundation for young players.
Yeah, on and off the court.
On and off the court.
Right.
So where do we even begin with this foundation? I'm seeing a lot about focusing on individual skills early on.
Yeah. They suggest a 70-30 split.
Okay.
So 70% of practice time devoted to individual fundamentals and only 30% to actual games.
Okay.
At least until players reach like 14 or 15 years old.
Interesting.
So you can imagine a young player spending most of their time mastering, dribbling, passing, shooting, and footwork before even thinking about complex plays.
It's like learning the alphabet before writing a novel.
Exactly.
You need those basic building blocks first.
Right.
Does this mean holding back on assigning positions like point guard or center?
Absolutely. They actually advise against labeling players with specific positions too early.
Okay.
The goal is to nurture a well-rounded skill set that can, translate to any position on the court.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, think about a player like LeBron James.
Right.
He can handle the ball, drive to the basket, shoot from outside, defend multiple positions.
Right.
That kind of versatility is so valuable in modern basketball.
Exactly. The book calls this creating a complete basketball player.
Okay.
And it's not just about the physical skills, it's about developing the right mindset too.
Okay.
And they emphasize the importance of what they call a we over I mentality.
Okay. A we over I mentality. How do you actually cultivate that in a team environment?
Well, it can start with seemingly small things, like having players from all levels, from beginners to the most experienced, enter the court together with a unified cheer, at the beginning and end of each practice.
Yeah.
So imagine the sense of camaraderie that builds when everyone feels like they're part of something bigger than themselves.
I see how something as simple as that could shift the focus from individual achievement to a shared sense of purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it extends to other aspects of practice, too.
Okay.
For example, they suggest that when a player gets substituted out of a drill, all the players on the bench stand up to greet them.
Wow.
It's about, fostering respect
and
acknowledging every player's contribution.
Those are great examples of how you can build that team-first mentality without even touching a basketball.
Right.
But what about on the court?
Yeah.
What kind of defensive philosophy do they advocate for?
Well, they actually propose something they call an attacking defense.
Attacking defense.
Yeah. It sounds counterintuitive, right?
A little bit.
But it's all about disrupting the opponent's rhythm.
Okay.
And dictating the tempo of the game from the defensive end.
So it's not just about reacting to the offense.
Right.
It's about being proactive.
Exactly.
And making them react to you.
Exactly. So picture this.
Right.
A player is dribbling up the court, and from the moment they cross half court, they're met with this relentless pressure.
Yeah.
Defenders are denying passing lanes, forcing the ball towards the sidelines, and making every possession a battle.
That's attacking defense in action?
Yeah, but it's not just about one player hounding the ball, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be a team element to this.
Yeah, you're right. They talk a lot about disciplined rotations from the weak side.
Okay.
So if the ball handler manages to beat their initial defender, the help defense needs to be there to clog up driving lanes. And of course, any attacking defense needs to finish with aggressive rebounding.
Constant pressure, disciplined rotations, and aggressive rebounding. This sounds like a defense that's designed to wear down the opponent.
Yes.
Both physically and mentally.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
But even with the most aggressive defensive strategies, there's still a lot that hinges on the coach's ability to guide and develop players.
That makes sense. It's not just about teaching kids X's and O's. It's about instilling that mindset, that winning mentality, but also a deep respect for the game and their teammates.
Exactly.
So what do they say about the coach's role in all of this?
Well, they dedicate a whole section to this, and it's fascinating.
Okay.
They talk about how coaches influence not only skill acquisition, but also players' psychological development and their overall experience with the game.
Wow, that's a huge responsibility.
It is.
So what specific qualities do they emphasize in a coach?
What?
Sounds like it goes way beyond just drawing up plays.
It does. One of the key things they highlight is the importance of providing clear and encouraging feedback.
Okay.
So instructions should be concise and focused, and when correcting errors, the emphasis should be on support rather than punishment.
So it's about striking that balance?
Pushing players to improve while still nurturing their love for the game.
Precisely.
Yeah.
They also talk about the importance of fostering team cohesion through supportive behaviors, setting clear rules and expectations for conduct, and really embodying that we over I mentality we discussed earlier.
It sounds like the ideal coach needs to be part strategist, part psychologist, and part cheerleader.
Yeah, it's a tough job.
But they also talk about challenges coaches face, right?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to self-awareness.
Yes, that's a big one.
Okay.
It's easy for coaches to get caught up in the heat of the moment and not realize how their behavior might be impacting players.
Yeah.
They might think they're being supportive, but their actions could be interpreted as negative or discouraging.
It's like that saying, we judge ourselves by our intentions and others by their actions.
Exactly.
Even with the best intentions, it's easy to miss the mark sometimes.
Right. The book really stresses the importance of self-evaluation and being open to feedback, both from players and from assistant coaches.
This is so interesting. We've covered a lot of ground already. We have from individual skills to team dynamics to the crucial role of the coach.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back to the players and their development. The book breaks down individual skill development into 3 key pillars.
Absolutely. They call them the dominant pillars of individual technique: footwork, ball handling, and shooting.
Okay, let's break those down one by one.
Okay.
Starting with footwork, why is it so crucial, and what aspects do they focus on?
Well, think of footwork as the foundation of everything else.
Okay.
If a player's footwork is shaky, everything built on top of that will suffer.
Got it.
So they advocate for drills that emphasize quick feet, proper pivoting, and the ability to change direction explosively.
So it's not just about speed. It's about controlled, purposeful movement.
Exactly.
Every step has a purpose.
Exactly. Whether it's creating space for a shot, driving to the basket, or shutting down an opponent on defense, footwork is the key.
What about ball handling? It seems like a lot of young players get caught up in trying to master all the fancy dribble moves.
Right.
And maybe they lose sight of the fundamentals.
The authors address that directly.
Okay.
They break down ball handling into 3 essential components: the setup, attack moves, and counters.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's about understanding the purpose behind each move, how it fits into a larger offensive strategy.
Right.
They even include a breakdown of like the different types of dribbling.
They do. They cover everything from like basic dribbles like crossovers and between the legs to more advanced moves.
Okay.
But what they really emphasize is that the true mark of a skilled ball handler is efficiency and decision-making.
Oh.
It's not about how many moves you know.
Right.
It's about knowing when to use them.
That makes so much sense.
Right.
It's about reading the defense, understanding passing angles,
Right.
and making smart choices with the ball.
Exactly. It's like they say in the book, a fancy dribble is useless if it doesn't lead to a scoring opportunity or a better position for your team.
Okay, and finally, the most glamorous skill in basketball.
Yes.
What are some of their key insights into developing a consistent shot?
The authors are adamant that great shooters are made, not born. It all comes down to dedicated practice and developing the correct mechanics.
Okay.
So they break down the shot into its fundamental elements: footwork, grip, elbow extension, follow through. And they provide a ton of drills to help players refine their technique.
So it's about repetition and attention to detail, but also practicing in game-like situations.
Absolutely. They emphasize the importance of shooting under pressure.
Okay.
They even suggest incorporating drills where a partner provides defensive pressure.
Wow.
Simulating those late game scenarios when the game is on the line.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
It's not just about being able to make shots in an empty gym.
Right.
It's about developing the mental toughness to knock down shots when it matters most.
Right. And that brings us to another key concept. They explore toughness.
Okay.
And I'm not just talking about physical strength.
Oh, this is intriguing. What do they mean by toughness?
Yeah.
And how does it apply to basketball?
They define toughness as a mindset, a combination of mental fortitude and physical resilience.
Yeah.
It's about pushing through discomfort, embracing challenges, and never giving up, even when things get tough.
I see. So it's that grit factor that separates good players from great players.
Exactly.
But how do you cultivate that toughness in young athletes?
Well, they emphasize focusing on the present moment, letting go of past failures, and not getting bogged down by future worries.
So a kind of mindfulness applied to basketball.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They also talk about embracing discomfort as a path to growth.
Okay.
Understanding that pushing beyond your comfort zone is where true development happens.
Is that no pain, no gain mentality,
Right.
but applied in a smart and sustainable way.
Exactly.
It's not about pushing players to the point of injury.
Exactly. It's about helping them understand that pushing through mental and physical fatigue is part of becoming a tougher, more resilient player.
They also talk about the importance of eliminating excuses, right?
Absolutely. They advocate for a no excuses, no explanations policy.
Wow.
It's about taking ownership of your actions, learning from mistakes, and always striving to improve.
It sounds like they're trying to instill a sense of accountability and personal responsibility.
Precisely. It's about developing a culture of excellence where everyone is expected to give their all, regardless of the circumstances.
That's powerful stuff.
It is.
And I can see how that kind of mentality would benefit players far beyond the basketball court.
You're right. These are valuable life lessons disguised as basketball techniques.
This deep dive is already giving me so much to think about.
Me too.
And we haven't even touched on the specific offensive system they advocate for.
Right. We still need to talk about the swing offense, but I think that's a conversation for part 2 of our deep dive.
Sounds like a plan. Stay tuned, folks, because we're just getting started.
And a big part of that no excuses mentality is like being in top physical condition. Like the old saying goes, fatigue makes cowards of us all.
So hitting the weight room and doing conditioning drills is just as important as mastering those on-court skills.
Right. It's all connected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The book even includes specific conditioning drills, things that build, aerobic capacities, strength, overall athleticism.
Okay.
They really hammer home the importance of preparing players to compete at a high level for an entire game.
Right.
Not just in bursts.
What just in bursts?
Yeah.
I'm sensing a pattern here. A lot of emphasis on hard work.
Yeah.
Pushing beyond perceived limits.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they're trying to instill a growth mindset.
Yes.
Where players see challenges as opportunities for improvement rather than obstacles to avoid.
You're spot on.
Yeah.
It's about falling in love with the process, with the journey of becoming a better player, rather than just focusing on the outcome of any one game.
So it's not just about building basketball players, it's about building character.
I love that. And speaking of building, they also introduce a specific offensive system.
Yes.
The swing offense.
The swing offense, yeah.
Okay, I'm curious, what are some of the key elements of the swing offense?
Well, it all starts with passing.
Okay.
The ball is constantly swinging from side to side, forcing the defense to constantly move and react.
Okay.
They also use a lot of screens away from the ball, as well as middle and side ball screens to create open shots.
So it's a very fluid, dynamic offense that keeps the defense guessing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because it limits dribbling, it forces players to think ahead, anticipate passing lanes, and make quick decisions.
Yeah.
It really helps develop their basketball IQ and their understanding of spacing.
I can see how mastering this type of offense would translate into success at higher levels of basketball.
Absolutely. It teaches players the importance of sharing the ball, moving without the ball, and playing unselfishly, all essential qualities in today's game.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful. We've covered so much, from the importance of individual fundamentals to the power of a DBE over I mentality.
Yes.
From the intricacies of an attacking defense to the fluid movement of the swing offense. And let's not forget the emphasis on mental and physical toughness.
Right.
Those intangible qualities that truly separate the great players from the good.
Absolutely.
What stands out to you from all these insights?
For me, it's how the book really drives home the point that coaching goes far beyond just X's and O's.
Yeah.
It's about developing character, instilling a love for the game, and preparing young players not just for basketball, but for life.
Yeah.
It's something to think about whether you're a player, a coach, or just a fan.
And that, my friend, is the essence of a deep dive.
It is.
Leaving you with more to explore.
Absolutely.
It's so easy to get caught up in those highlight reel plays, the amazing dunks, the game-winning shots.
Yeah, those are the things you see on ESPN.
Yeah, exactly.
But this book really brings us back down to earth, reminding us that, real success in basketball is built on those, less glamorous fundamentals.
It's about discipline, dedication, that willingness to push yourself further than you think you can go.
And what I find really refreshing is they acknowledge that, not every player is going to make it to the NBA or even play in college.
Right. But that doesn't mean the journey is any less valuable.
Exactly. There's a whole section dedicated to this idea, emphasizing that even if a young player, never goes pro, what they learn through basketball can have a huge impact on their life.
Yeah, they could become coaches, trainers, referees, or just lifelong fans who appreciate the game on a deeper level.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's about fostering a love for the sport that goes, beyond the court.
Yeah.
And using those lessons to navigate challenges in any aspect of life.
I think that's a really important message.
It is. It's about so much more than just wins and losses.
So to wrap things up, our deep dive into basketball player development has been a real eye-opener.
It has.
We've uncovered this holistic approach that goes beyond physical skills, emphasizing mental toughness, a team-first mentality, and a true respect for the game.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
We explored the nuances of attacking defense, the beautiful flow of the swing offense, and those essential qualities like grit and resilience that we talked about.
Yes.
And we can't forget about the growth mindset.
Yes.
That idea that challenges are opportunities for learning and improvement.
Absolutely.
This book has given us a whole new perspective on what it means to develop a player, not just as an athlete, but as a person.
And that's what makes this book so valuable, whether you're a player, a coach, a parent, or just someone who loves the game.
Well said. Remember to like and subscribe. Until next time, keep practicing those fundamentals.